There's something about Vis, an island once restricted to the world, now quietly stealing hearts. No crowds, no rush, just time to breathe, taste, and feel. It's where the sea is clearer, the wine is bolder, and the sunset seemed to wait just for you. We came for the beaches, but what we found was so much more. This is Vis, and this is where the story begins. At first glance, the town of Vis feels like a quiet postcard. A curved bay, stone houses glowing in the afternoon sun, and fishing boats gently rocking in the harbor. But look closer, and you'll find layers of history under every step. This was once Isa, the first real town on Croatian soil, founded by the Greeks in the 4th century BC. The Romans followed, and the remains of their mosaic floors are still here, faded but proud, whispering of a time when this island was a gateway between cultures. Then came the Venetians, the Austrians, and even the British. Just above the shoreline, hidden among pines and wildflowers, lies a small English cemetery, a quiet echo of Vis's forgotten chapter. Built in 1815, it holds the graves of British sailors and soldiers who once called this harbor home during a brief moment when the Union Jack flew over the island. No grand memorials here, just a view of the sea and the silence of gratitude that lingers more than 2 centuries later. Just off the southeastern coast of Vis, this small island hides a jewel known as the Plava Lagoona, a calm, translucent bay surrounded by rocks, shallow sea, and wild Mediterranean landscape. The moment your boat glides into the lagoon, the water changes color, from deep cobalt to liquid turquoise. It's like nature dipped her brush in a slightly more magical shade of blue. This is pure escape. Final score, 8.4. The scenery is almost surreal. The water quality is as pristine as it gets, and the feeling of isolation gives the whole place an exotic twist. It loses a few points for accessibility. It's reachable only by boat. And for the lack of infrastructure, which for some is a flaw, and for others exactly the reason they came. Budikovac isn't a beach, it's a mood, the kind you chase all year and remember all winter. If you're craving a sandy beach on an island mostly ruled by pebbles, Stončica is a dream come true. Set deep in a narrow bay on the northeastern coast of Vis, this beach feels like a little tropical postcard. Soft sand under your feet, pine trees swaying above, and shallow turquoise water stretching far into the bay. It's the kind of place where you leave your shoes at the beginning of the day and forget where you put them. Our score, 9. It's not just about the setting, although the scenery here is hard to beat. The water is crystal clear, the beach is well preserved, and the gentle slope makes it accessible to all. It's a rare mix of wild and welcoming, where nature hasn't been tamed, but still feels like it's waiting for you. Stončica has a softness you don't expect on Vis, not just in the sand, but in the whole experience. No loud music, No stress, no rush. Just you, the sea, and time stretching out like the horizon. It's the kind of place you remember with your eyes closed and wish you could return to just once more. The real star of Stončica Bay isn't the sea. It's what's served just above it. At a local konoba under the shade of pines on the water's edge, they've perfected lamb, roasted on an open spit or slow-cooked under a bell. Locals say it's not just good, it's the best lamb on Vis, maybe even across the island. The aroma drifts down to the beach. It's smoky, herbaceous, irresistible. Served with warm potatoes roasted in the same juices and grilled vegetables drizzled with the island's olive oil, a glass of cold Vukava on the side, it's island comfort food elevated to poetry. You'll taste why some say this lamb is unmatched. Some names exaggerate. This one doesn't. Srebrna, or Silver Beach, truly shines, not just in name, but in every polished pebble beneath your feet. Tucked into the southern coast of Vis, this beach is a masterpiece of contrast. Pine tree shade meets blazing sun, white pebbles meet dark blue sea, and gentle waves meet sharp rocks. But the magic happens when light hits the surface at just the right angle. The entire bay begins to shimmer, as if the sea itself were made of liquid silver. Final score, 8.6. The water quality here? Impeccable. Crystal clear, refreshing, and inviting. The pebbles are smooth and light-colored, giving the water that signature glow photographers chase. Nature feels untouched yet welcoming, and accessibility is relatively easy with a short walk from the road through the pine forest. It doesn't try to impress, it just is. Quietly stunning. It's hard to talk about Vis without someone mentioning Stiniva. And at first sight, it's obvious why. This cove doesn't open itself to everyone. To get here, you either hike down a steep rocky path or arrive by boat, passing through a narrow stone gateway that hides what feels like a secret amphitheater. Final score, 8. The natural beauty is undeniable, a true postcard setting with a dramatic entrance. The sea is deep, clean, and changes color as the light shifts. The ecological value is strong, though the popularity of this spot has left its mark, especially during peak season. But accessibility is a real challenge. Even if you come by boat, you can't just glide in. The entrance is too narrow. You'll need to switch to a small dinghy and pull yourself in using a rope fixed to the rocks. That alone filters out the impatient. Stiniva isn't for everyone, but if you catch it at the right time, it feels like stumbling into a lost world. Cinematic, raw, and unforgettable. Hidden along Vis's southern coast, Uvala Ruda is a haven for sailors. It's one of the island's purest maritime pleasures. As your boat glides into the bay, the first thing that strikes you is the scenery. Rocky coastline and pine forests wrap around crystal waters that shift from translucent turquoise to deep navy, depending on the light. The water here is pristine, clear enough to spot the seabed at 10 meters depth. Anchoring is stable on a sandy and weed-covered bottom with some rocky patches. When Mistral or Yugo blows, anchoring stern to shore is recommended, using line to land to prevent swinging. Our verdict is 9, one of the highest scores among all Vis anchorages, thanks to flawless water quality, a stunning natural setting, and a commendable level of eco-cleanliness. Anchoring conditions are solid and the overall vibe is peaceful, even in peak season. Access is easy by boat, but you'll still feel remote. Overnight or midday, Ruda remains calm, except when flotillas bring brief bursts of chatter and laughter to the nearby coves. Not every paradise needs palm trees and playlists. Some only need patience and a good anchor. Ruda knows that better than most. Right along the waterfront in a part of Vis called Kut, there's a small seaside tavern where time slows to island rhythm. Stone walls, ivy overhead, tables set just steps from the sea. It's a kind of place that doesn't shout for attention, yet quietly earns your loyalty with every bite. The menu? Rooted in tradition. Think cuttlefish risotto, octopus salad, grilled white fish still glistening from morning catch. There's a rugged honesty to the cooking. Simple ingredients, handled with care, no shortcuts. Portions are generous, flavors bold but familiar. And just when you think you've tasted it all, comes the rojata. Creamy, golden, delicate, easily one of the best we've had on the Adriatic. A final note that stays with you long after the meal is done. As the sun begins to dip behind the hills, the waterfront in Vis comes alive. One by one, sailboats glide into the harbor. Lines are tossed, fenders out, and crews exchange tired smiles after a day at sea. The stone promenade fills with a gentle hum. The clink of glasses, the rustle of linen shirts, the slow footsteps of couples strolling past ancient facades lit by golden light. And just a few steps away, a restaurant that turns this feeling into flavor. Not a fancy bistro, not a trendy seafood joint, but a space with soul. Once a fish market built in 1911, now reborn without losing its roots.
Nalazimo se u prostoru bivše peškarije.
So we're standing in what used to be the fish market in Vis. It was built in 1911. Just a few years ago, it was still operating as a real fish market. Our idea is to keep it that way in the mornings as a market, and in the evenings, it transforms into a restaurant. We renovated it last year and turned it into what it is now. We serve only fish. Fish we catch ourselves. My father is a fisherman. He catches small bluefish, sardines, and anchovies. We also catch amberjack, bonito, and those end up on our menu too. All the dishes are presented in a more modern way, with updated textures and plating, so everything looks a bit more refined and contemporary. It's not what you'd see in your typical konoba or traditional tavern.
Se može vidjeti u nekim tradicionalnim konobama I tako.
You're sitting where generations of fishermen once gathered, exchanged stories, and sold their morning catch. The floor may be new, but the heart of the space remains untouched. A massive elliptical stone table, original from the old fish market, still stands in the center. Nothing here is for show. This is not a concept. It's a continuation of craft, of family, of life by the sea. Just 1 nautical mile inland on the northern edge of the Kolochepski Channel, you'll find a marina perfectly carved into the coast, quiet, practical, and built with purpose. ACI Marina Veljko Barbieri in Slano. Named after the visionary behind the ACI network, this is its newest addition, a marina designed to offer more than just mooring. With 197 berths and capacity for yachts up to 50 meters, it's built to handle serious boats with confidence. The depth ranges from 10 to 35 meters, and even near the quay, you're in safe water. Once inside, you'll find everything you need within reach. Clean, modern facilities, a swimming pool, a restaurant, repairs, rentals, EV charging, even Tesla-specific stations. It's a marina ready for both comfort and responsibility, with blue flag status, waste treatment systems, and energy optimization built in. But Slano isn't just a good stop. It's a perfect base. From here, you're less than 10 nautical miles from the islands of Lopud, Kolochep, and Šipan. A bit farther west, the channel leads you towards Ston, home to ancient salt pans and some of the longest defensive walls in Europe. ACI Slano feels like it was placed here with intention. Quiet, capable, exactly where it needs to be. Komiža is not just a place, it's a feeling. Set at the foot of Mount Hum, facing the wide open sea, this fishing stronghold seems to have stepped out of time. And that's its greatest charm. Narrow alleyways weave between tall stone houses, and as evening falls, the air fills with the scent of dinner being made. Time stretches here. Days drift by in a rhythm of salt, lavender, and freshly baked bread. There's something elemental in how Komiža welcomes you. It doesn't shout, it doesn't pose. It just is, raw, proud, and free. A town shaped by nets, wind, and silence. Whichever way you go from Komiža, beauty follows, whether you're climbing up to hills, sailing towards Biševo, or strolling along the harbor. Sometimes the best beaches aren't the ones with names and glossy travel guides, but those you stumble upon when you wander just a little further. South of Komiža, hugging the rugged coastline, lies a string of natural pebble beaches, secluded, raw, and utterly authentic. They feel like pieces of the island that time forgot. The landscape is wild and dramatic. Slopes of rock and pine lean into the sea, and each tiny bay has its own rhythm, from the echo of cicadas to the soft crash of waves on polished stone. Midway through the visit, we lock in the rating, 8.8. Scenery and water quality are top tier. The kind that makes you stop mid-swim just to take it all in. The water is pristine, with visibility so clear it almost deceives the eye. Ecology is excellent, with almost no visible human trace, and that's rare. Access, though, isn't for everyone. These beaches demand some effort. Rocky terrain, steep paths, and no signage. And forget about arriving by car. This is strictly for the curious and the capable. The ambiance? Quiet, meditative, and deeply local. This trio of beaches isn't polished or packaged, but that's their charm. If this beach looks familiar, you're not imagining things. Barjoška once served as a movie set, and it still feels like one. Light dances on every stone, the sea glows turquoise, and the entire bay radiates a quiet kind of magic. This is not your typical beach. There's no soft sand or palm tree shade, just rounded pebbles, patches of concrete, and water so clear it feels like glass. The overall score comes in at 8. Scenery and water quality shine. This is the Adriatic at its purest. Cleanliness holds up well, especially given the occasional summer rush. Access is fair, though a bit challenging for those seeking comfort. And while the ambiance isn't luxurious, it's authentic, and sometimes that's exactly what you need. Barjoška might not be the most exotic location on the island, but it offers something arguably more valuable: honesty, character, and a glimpse of Vis the way locals know it. As the sun sets over Komiža and the boats settle in for the night, it's the perfect time for a dinner you won't forget. We started with octopus in red wine, slow-cooked until tender, swimming in a thick, rich sauce, just salty enough. No need to explain. One piece of bread in the sauce says it all. Then came a whole baked fish with vegetables. Simple, honest food. When the fish is fresh and cooked with care, that's all you need. Soft flesh, crisp skin, and vegetables soaked in flavor. The kind of dish that reminds you of how powerful simplicity can be when it's done right. And finally, the famous Komižka pogača. Warm, fragrant, rich with tomato, onion, and anchovy. After a hearty island meal, we follow the scent of something just as authentic, but bottled. In a quiet small shop in a busy little street, we're about to taste something truly rare.
We have a special variety here, our palagružonka. That's like name it says, it's coming from island of Palagruža. My father bring it here. We also gave it to University of Agronomy to gene testings, and they say it's not related to any other varieties. So we don't know where it came from, but it's our authentic. So, and we do only 300 bottles of it, so it's very special, and we are the only one in the whole world that produces that variety. It's citrusy aroma, and also you can eat it with fish or asparagus and something like that.
Just a short ride west of Komiža lies a quiet jewel hidden in plain sight: Žukamice. Everything here whispers escape. The sea is calm and glassy, the setting almost surreal. This is a beach for those who don't need anything but nature itself, and perhaps a good book or diving mask. You might see a lone kayak drift by, or a curious fish approach your feet in the shallows. We have our verdict: 8.8. Scenery and water quality, impeccable. The turquoise sea combined with the unspoiled coastline is what dreams are made of. The beach is clean, untouched by mass tourism, and there's a raw organic energy in the air. Accessibility is a bit of a challenge. There's no road, no pier. Žukamice doesn't entertain. It embraces. It grounds you. It reminds you that some of the best experiences in life can't be booked, bought, or posted, only felt. Just off the western coast of Vis lies a little island with a big reputation: Biševo. Known mostly for its famous blue cave, this island holds a secret that many skip in their rush for selfies: one of the most beautiful sandy beaches on the Adriatic. Porat is the kind of beach that makes you forget time exists. A natural golden crescent surrounded by tamarisk trees and limestone cliffs. It looks like it was carved out of a postcard. The sea here is shallow, safe, and gleaming with that signature turquoise glow that screams Mediterranean paradise. Final score? A remarkable 9.2. Scenery and water quality are flawless, 10s across the board. Porat's sandy bottom creates that rare, velvety texture under your feet, and the cove shape protects it from strong winds, making it ideal for families and longer stays. Cleanliness is excellent, with minimal human impact despite its popularity. Accessibility scores a solid 8, whether you're arriving by excursion boat or your own vessel. It's fairly easy to reach. And the ambiance? It's near perfect. There's a rustic beach bar hidden in the shade, friendly locals, and a calm vibe that lingers in your memory long after you've left. In the heart of Dalmatia, just across the canal from one of Croatia's best preserved old towns, lies ACI Marina Trogir, a gateway to the past, comfortably anchored in the present. Located on the island of Biševo, the marina looks directly at the historic core of Trogir, separated by only 100 meters of water. The view? Stone towers, medieval walls, and the Cathedral of St. Lawrence, all part of a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The marina itself offers 161 berths and 26 dry berths, accommodating vessels up to 30 meters in length. Depth is no issue, with a safe 4.5 meters, even under the low bridge that connects Biševo to the old town. For taller boats, there's a Western Sea approach. Awarded for quality and consistency, ACI Trogir was named among the top small marinas on the Adriatic. It delivers everything you'd expect from a modern base: fuel station, boat maintenance, diving center, grocery store, Wi-Fi, and a restaurant, all within walking distance of one of the most atmospheric towns on the coast. This is a place where convenience meets culture, where a night at berth can turn into an impromptu stroll through centuries, and a town built on stone, craft, and timing. ACI Trogir makes sure you arrive at just the right moment. At the end of today's episode, here's the current leaderboard. In the urban beach category, Bol stands tall. Both Beach Noa and Martinica are tied at the top with 8.6. Split Žnjan follows close behind, while Dubrovnik keeps its charm alive with Sveti Jakov. Among natural beaches, Zlatni Rat holds the crown with an impressive 9.4. But Badia and Porat are right on its heels at 9.2. And in the Anchorage Bay category, Ruda Bay on Vis is currently in the lead, with a clean 9, and that peaceful, untouched feel that's hard to beat. In the next episode, we're heading to the Šibenik region, exploring its island-studded coastline and hidden treasures. And to wrap it up, the legendary island of Murter. Stay tuned.